I'm Scott Allen Miller. It's the 27th of July, 2022, and welcome to my vlog of daily life in Nicaragua. Thank you for joining me, and I am here at the Iglesia Laborio. It is Wednesday. It is the middle of the week, and I've been saying this has just been a busy week. We've had very little time to catch up on anything. Today is it is the hump day, but it is very much the middle of our week as well. We have just been doing a lot of work. We have new businesses that we are working on starting, and our existing ones are very, very busy and demanding of our time right now. So we are doing a lot of work out on the beach. We are doing a lot of work in the office, and I am working really hard to get some new shows started here on YouTube. So we're busy right? So I've been pretty much sequestered in the office combined with doing a lot of the housework. So I've been very busy just around the house getting things done there as well. So our week pretty much has come down to that. Dominica today is mostly taking the day off. So she's hanging out at the house, avoiding the beach, enjoying the air conditioning. But we just cooked all of our meals at home, did nothing really special. So I have very little to report. That's kind of where we are. I'm doing a lot of just learning on Final Cut Pro and that kind of stuff. We've had a lot of growth on the channel, so I want to take this chance to just say thank you to everybody. We're getting discovered by a lot of new people, and I'm trying really hard to shake things up and try new camera stuff and everything to keep this interesting, but I have not had a lot of time to go out and actually explore new areas to do filming. As you can tell, if you're looking at this video and you know where I am, I'm right down the street. It is actually being filmed, I think, on the 1st. It's August 1st that I'm finally getting around to doing this video. So by the time it's posted, you'll be like, wow, he just recorded that. Yeah, it's rough. This evening, I wanted to go out to dinner, tried to talk Dominica into it, and she's like, no. So hopefully tomorrow. I've been looking forward to just going out and exploring the city a little bit. There hasn't been a lot of opportunity to go out and do things. We are going to try to get out a few times this week. We have a few different places we want to go and things we want to try out, and should be kind of fun. It's time to get out and see more of the city because we end up getting so busy and being at home and with the dogs and the kids. That's one of the toughest things. Living in another country is so wonderful because every little thing is exciting. That's one of my favorite things. It doesn't matter where you're from or where you go, as long as it's somewhere else, right? And that's one of the great things about travel is this moving from the mundane to adventure in everyday life. And I've talked about this, I don't know where, I'm not even sure if I've talked about this on this channel, but I have over the years really fallen in love with the concept of just going to the grocery store in other countries. I love it, and I use it as a metaphor for one of the most everyday activities that you do. Like, it's hard to get much more pedestrian than I'm going to the grocery store to get some milk and eggs, right? I'm getting a loaf of bread. But when you start going to the grocery store in any country, it's when you move from being a tourist into being kind of living there. I mean, you can always just go, right? It could be your one day in a country. What are you doing today? We're going to the grocery store, right? When we got to Guatemala City, like the first thing we did with Valentina is we went to the Super Mini and checked out the chips and the soda, right? But that's a little bit different. When you're going to a real grocery store and you're getting ingredients because you're planning to cook, things change. And I remember being in Italy a number of years ago with Dominica, and we went to the grocery store, and it would be a long walk to our neighborhood grocery store, and we go all over. We're getting fruits and vegetables and bread and ingredients because we were going to cook because we live there. And it was one of our favorite things because it was a moment where we had to do everything. There's no accommodations for tourists. Nobody speaks English. No one thinks of you as special. Like, you just need to go and deal with it like everyone else. And it was similar in Greece. We used to go to the Lidl and find the local food and be like, oh my gosh, check out this thing we can't get back home. How cool is this? And we enjoyed that so much. And the best ever was when we were in Ukraine, which of course is one of the most exotic places that we ever lived for us. I would say that our most exotic moments were living in Nicaragua and living in Ukraine. They're the two farthest things from our normal experience. And the grocery stores in Ukraine especially were just so different than anything we were used to. And we would have so much fun going to them and exploring how the grocery store worked and what food they have and those kinds of things. But all of that is really just this artifact of when you start living everyday life in a new place, it gives you an opportunity for every interaction, every little thing that you do to be something exciting and different and interesting. Going to the corner store to get a soda. Well, the selection of sodas are different. We went to Oasis del Sabor at one point this week, Actually, it's going to be tomorrow, but I'll tell the story today. We go to Oasis del Sabor just to pick up drinks. We were walking by, and Dominica had not had a chance to try the cherry limeades yet. So we stopped in on the way home, and we're just walking, and she's like, oh my gosh, the cherry limeade that you keep talking about, because she loves them at Sonic back home in the United States. They're way better here. So we stopped in and got them to go, and while we were there, I looked into the fridge and realized they had Grape Bet in the fridge, which is the grape soda from Guatemala. And I'd never seen it before until we had been in Guatemala 2 weeks ago. And I'm like, oh my gosh, Paul has to try this because he loves grape soda. I do too. And he had never seen it before. And I was like, oh my gosh. So we got one to go and brought it back for him. But just little things like that. New soda that you don't normally get to see. Those things become, every little bit of life can become so much more exciting, simply because there's always something new to experience, always an opportunity to learn about culture or food or weather or just whatever. And that's such a big thing, and it's hard to explain why living in another country is so great, because there's living in a specific country. Why I love Nicaragua is one set of things to describe. And I can tell you reasons that I choose Nicaragua, reasons that I'm so excited that we are here in Nicaragua, reasons that I would recommend many of you consider visiting or actually considering living in Nicaragua. It's such a great country, but those things are specific to Nicaragua. There's a separate set of why you should consider living abroad, someplace that is outside of your ken, outside of your experience. There is so much just adventure to be had in everyday life. One of the things that is the worst for me when I go back home to the United States is nothing particularly American. It's just that everything is so easy and normal. Going to the grocery store is, I don't even think about it. Going to McDonald's, I don't even think about it. All those things are just things you do every day. There's nothing exciting. You're not going to experience anything new. Yes, when I was back, I went to Taco Bell and they had a new vegetarian menu, and I was like, oh my gosh, Taco Bell has a new vegetarian menu. Okay, but that's different. It wasn't a new cultural thing. It wasn't like learning something new. Is just finding out they had added a new way to look at their menu. Better than nothing, but it's hard to describe until you really do it, just how exciting everyday life can be when you're living abroad in a new place. And it gives so much more to life, so much more interest. I'm not exactly sure why a lady just walked by and yelled at me while I was filming. Like, it's clearly pointed at me. The camera only looks at me. They can see on the screen. I can't see myself on the screen, but people walking by can. I'm quite a bit above the level of the street, so people walking by are like at my foot looking up. And yeah, that was a bit weird. Anyway, that is my feeling on living abroad. And even if it's something you only do for a short period of time, I recommend it for really everybody. It is a wonderful experience. You don't have to make a big commitment. And this is one of the exciting things about living abroad. Consider the fact that you can just take a few months, find a country that is interesting or cost effective or easy to get to or friendly with visas, whatever. Consider moving for a short period of time. Doesn't mean making a big commitment. You don't have to give up your home wherever it is. You don't have to change or make a long-term decision. Take some time, go to a new place, experience it for a set period of time, but more than a vacation, more than living in a hotel. Rent an apartment, cook for yourself, go to the grocery store, get to know a neighborhood. It's a life-changing experience, not just the first time you do it, but every time that you do it. Thanks for joining me. Please remember to like and subscribe. Put your comments below. I want to know about you guys living abroad. Where have you gone? Where do you want to go? What do you find to be the most exciting things or most challenging things, or why you don't recommend it? Because I recommend it for every reason. I'll see all of you tomorrow.